Go.
Good morning and welcome to today's lesson where I would want us to talk about ethics. Okay, what will happen is once you're done with your training, you will be privileged to get an opportunity to work in an organization. Therefore, there are certain rules that will govern you while you are working. Now, those rules is what we call the ethics. Okay? So these are standard behaviors that are acceptable in an organization. So when you hear the word ethics, take note, it is the standard behavior that is expected of an employee while they are at work or while they are working. Let me give you an example. When you are in high school, you are given the rules and the regulations that would determine your stay while in school. You're told, oh, if you did this, you are going to be expelled. If you did this, this will happen. Now, those are the ethics. These are the behaviors that are required of any employee to abide with while they are working. Okay? For example, we say, like here in school, we say you're not allowed to uh, come after this, like if it's a lesson, you should not come after this, those are rules. You should not fight, you should not take people's property. Those are what we call the ethics. But now, in this circumstance, we are talking about ethics in an organization. Okay, so I have defined what ethics are. I've said they're standard behaviors of what is expected of employees. Now, what are some examples of these ethics in an organization? Or what are some of the ethical behaviors? Or what are some of the things that are expected of an employee while they are working? Okay, so that's what we'll go into. One of the main an example of ethics is obey the company rules and regulations. Every company has got its own rules. Yeah, what are some of these rules? Some rules are like, you should dress in this manner, you should not come to work while you're drunk, you should not fight, you should not, those you should not. So one of it is obeying the company's rules and regulation, which talks about dressing, which talks about the fight, which talk about so many other things. Okay, then another ethic or another behavior that is expected of an employee is for them to be able to communicate effectively. Okay, as an employee, you are supposed to communicate in a manner in which the message that you plan to portray will be received well. Okay, so for example, if I want to pass certain information to you, I should not shout at you and tell you, oh, so and so, you need to have done this. No, these are some of the behaviors, and you're being told we need to communicate effectively. Okay, then we are told another ethics or another ethical behavior that is accepted in an organization is to take up responsibility. You shouldn't come and say, oh, it wasn't me who did it, it was so and so. We are encouraged to take up responsibilities for the different tasks or different duties that have been located or allocated to us. Okay, and kindly take note, some of these ethics that you're talking about we're talking about them related to supervision. So this is a role of a supervisor to ensure that employees are able to follow the laid down procedures or ethics that operate in an organization. Okay, the other ethic that is acceptable is to be accountable. Okay, accountable means what? Accountable means whatever I am doing, I can be held accountable. I can in case of anything, I should be asked, or I should take full responsibility for my actions, for the whatever. If it's a job that I'm doing, I should be able to be accountable. In the event I'm asked, I will say I did this because I felt this was the best thing to have done. Another ethic is to respect your colleagues. You don't work alone in an organization, and therefore you are required to have a good cordial relationship with your colleagues. How do you embrace that? Is by respecting them, yeah, giving them their space to perform their duties. Okay, so some of those that I've listed above are some of the ethics behaviors that are acceptable in an organization. Now, we shall talk about those behaviors that are not acceptable. Behaviors that are not acceptable in an organization. One of the behaviors that is not actually allowed in an organization